I change things, still I fear the end.
We interrupt our regularly scheduled program for this public service announcement.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. 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 Thank you very much, Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato, Mr.
Are you guys serious right now?
What? I'm just having a little bit of fun. Come on.
We were all having a good time.
Now, first of all, you are not supposed to be talking to him or doing things that would imply you two are getting along, okay? We've been over this. Second of all, what the hell is your problem?
You're just jealous because you can't keep up with my funky groove. Come on, break it down for
He
me.
is a pretty solid dancer.
No, no, that doesn't mean anything, okay? You're not even supposed to be here. As I've repeatedly reiterated more than once.
Listen, I'm just trying to help you out. Today you're supposed to be reviewing a game about dancing. So of course, we have to dance.
No. No, it doesn't. None of this makes any sense. You need to go. You need to leave now, okay? And no, I'm not dancing.
What? It makes perfect sense to me. But here you go again. Being Mr. Depressing. Nah, 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 nah. I don't do that. My name's Darkness the Curse, and I have to go somewhere and brood some more, rather than actually having any kind of fun. Why would you want to do that? Don't be ridiculous. Alright, so on with Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto!
Oh my god, shut up! So Bust a Groove for the PS1, huh? I can't say I'd expected to ever review a game like this. And to be perfectly honest, I don't have that much to say about it. It's a really simple title. It came out at a point in gaming history when rhythm games weren't really that common. But despite being an early rhythm game, it's actually pretty unique even by today's standards. It takes elements from rhythm games, yes, something similar to, say, Parappa the Rapper, I guess is the best comparison. Although, really, any rhythm game you could probably compare it to, whether it's Guitar Hero or Dance Central or anything like that. Then it combines the elements with elements of a fighting game, because it's head-to-head competitive. So, kind of like DDR, but except there's, like, special moves, which is odd. It's unique, and I kind of appreciate that. The gameplay is really dirt simple, especially by rhythm game standards. I mean, there isn't much to explain here. You see button inputs, you input the button inputs. That's the game. And if that sounds like every other rhythm game you've played ever, then yeah, duh. It was released at a time before things like motion control for Dance Central or the guitar controller for Guitar Hero, or even the dance pad for DDR. This was your classic style, you have a controller, press the buttons in a timely manner rhythm game. But hey, you know, the music, for one, is really catchy, and that's one of the most important things for a music-based video game, I would argue. You absolutely have got to have music that people will actually listen to and not feel like, you know, their ears are bleeding, I guess. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what song this reminds me of.
Don't you even think of...
You know you have to survive. You got to keep the dream alive. And everything is real fantasy.
But the music in this game is actually quite catchy, and I like quite a bit of it, so that's always nice. It's definitely 90s pop style, but you know, it's a 90s dance game. I don't really know what you expected, alright, let's be honest. Graphics are passable, it's the original PlayStation, and to be fair, visuals weren't really a big deal when it came to this game. I mean, you don't need super high-res shit for a rhythm game, I wouldn't think. That's kind of unnecessary for the game, you know, like, it doesn't really matter that much. They look fine, so yeah. And you have a unique cast of characters to pick from, all with different moves to input, which, now we're getting into the fighting aspect. See, each character has different inputs for each song. It's different between the characters. You don't always input the same thing. A lot of rhythm games base their rhythms off of the songs. And this game does it to a certain extent, but it also bases the rhythms off of the characters you pick. See, the button inputs change based on what character you're using. So it adds a bit more of a dynamic feel to the game when you're using different characters. So certain characters do different moves easier or harder, you know, it depends. It's not that variable, I assume, to help with the multiplayer, so you could really pick any character you want and effectively be okay, but, you know, it's still more dynamic, and I like that. Another thing I should probably mention are the special moves, which, wow, they're special moves, and basically, you smack the enemy in the face. They can also smack you in the face. That's how it works. It interrupts your dances, and the idea of each match is to get the most crowd-pleasing. You know, that's how the fights work. It's effectively a dance-off game, where you go around and, you know, you dance to a song and you get the best crowd reaction. That's the way you win. Which is not unlike a lot of other rhythm games, but not a lot of other rhythm games let you smack your opponent upside the head when you're trying to dance. And that can make the game a lot more fun, especially in multiplayer. So I definitely encourage getting a friend to play this if you really want to try it out. Overall, the game's a pretty fun experience. Is there anything wrong with it though? Because here I am again, here to complain. There is one thing I should warn you about when it comes to this game, and that's the difficulty curve. First of all, the game, especially if you're not playing, you know, with an original copy, which would have a manual, the game offers little to no explanation when it comes to the mechanics of the game. Like special moves, for example, it doesn't really tell you any of that, which I feel like is a fairly major flaw. Because when I first started playing, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. To be honest, I kind of expected it just to be a standard rhythm game and that was it, and was surprised when an opponent smacked me in the face. I was like, what the fuck? You know, like it's completely out there. That is compounded by the fact that the game in itself is actually a lot harder than other rhythm games, I would argue, because of the way the beats work. See, most rhythm games are based off of a visual feedback situation. You know, Guitar Hero has its line, and Dance Central has its dance moves, and DDR has, you know, arrow inputs and directional inputs to tell you which button to press at which time. And this game has a visual feedback to tell you which button to press, but it's not really based on timing visually so much as timing audibly. It's based off of the beats in the song. And honestly, the visual feedback, while it's there, is so split-second and hard to follow that the game almost demands that you follow the song with your ear and get it that way. So that actually makes the game a lot more unique, I would argue, because it makes it a lot more difficult to get good at, because you have to be able to follow the beat and, you know, keep your button presses timed with the song beat, as opposed to just the game telling you which button to press at which time. You know, so in that regard, do I consider that a bad thing? No, but it does make the game a bit harder. So you probably should keep that in mind, you know what I mean? That being said, the game is a lot of fun. And I really would encourage a lot of people to give this a try, because I feel like it's kind of a lost gem in the PlayStation library. I had never heard of this game prior to it being requested, and I haven't really heard anything about it since. I know they released a sequel and another game on the PSN, I believe, so you could probably give it a try, and maybe it's worth your time. I think it's fun, though I would definitely encourage really get a second player, because single player can get stale relatively quickly. So with that, until next time, this is Darkness, and I bid you all a fond farewell.